Hello, this is Dr. Sellers. I appreciate having all of you in class, in this online class this summer. I wanted to come to you and give you a review for the final exam. The final exam will be in two parts, 50 multiple choice questions and 3 essay questions. The 50 multiple choice questions will come from the 4 chapters that we just finished, 6, 7, 8, and 9. However, the 3 essay questions will represent the entire course, chapters 1 through 9. So 50 essay questions, all coming from chapters 6, 7, 8, and 9, essays coming from the entire course. And this is how we'll set it up. For one of the essay questions, that question will come from one of the 2 areas that you were asked about before on the midterm exam. For example, one of the areas you were asked about was how are states different? Education, population, history, and so on. There were 7 or 8 variables. Remember how that essay question was asked? What are those variables? Give examples of them. And how do states differ because of those variables in the policies that they make? That was one of the essay areas from the midterm exam. The second essay area, as you recall, had to do with federalism. Defining federalism, unitary form of government, confederalism. What are these things? What are these concepts? And how has the national government become more powerful over the years, particularly with regard to budgetary power? That was the second essay question. I'm going to ask on the final exam one of those 2 questions and those areas. The wording may be a little bit different from when you saw it before, but again, it'll be from those essay areas that you've already been asked about. That's one of the essays. The second 2 essay questions will come from the most recent 4 chapters, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Let me give you 3 possible areas from which I'll pick 2 questions. One area had to do with how a bill or an area issue, a problem, how it becomes a law. So some group or person has an idea. That idea has to be formed into a bill, and only, as you know, a state legislator can hand in a bill to the assembly for it to become a law. What happens, according to the text, what happens in that chain of events? How do bills meander through the General Assembly, through the many different committees, the many trapdoors where it can be stopped? How does politics affect a bill becoming a law? What happens when when a bill becomes tabled, when it becomes derelict, when it becomes inadequate, when it is researched and found not to be fulfilling the needs of the politicians? What happens as a bill becomes a law? What happens when the bill becomes passed by both branches, the House and the Senate, and gets to the governor? What does the governor do? That's one whole area from which an essay question can come. The second area will be from the concept of what I call the roles of the governor. As you recall from the text, the governor plays many roles: chief administrator, chief bureaucracy, leader of the budget, chief of crisis chief. All of these are roles. There's 6 or 7 of them that were listed in the text. What you'll need to do is be able to describe those roles, define them, give examples of the governor playing one or more of those roles, and importantly, how do those roles that the governor plays affect policy making at the state level? So that's a second area from which I may draw an essay. A third area will be bureaucracy. When did bureaucracy start to become so big at the state level, and why? Why is bureaucracy in government growing? And there are several reasons for this, as stated clearly in the text. Why does bureaucracy continue to grow? And what is meant by bureaucratic inertia? Why do bureaucracies continue to move even when a General Assembly or a governor try to make them stop? What makes them continue to move? Who are the typical bureaucrats in a bureaucracy? What are their backgrounds? Where do they come from, and why are they still there? How do they remain so long in those jobs? Once you discuss all about bureaucracy, I will then ask you to talk about Obamacare, or what is really known as the Affordable Care Act. And what I want you to do then, if I ask a question from this area, is tell me how the structure of the state bureaucracy will have an impact on the ACA, the Obamacare law. How will that bureaucracy and that law have an impact on one another? That's what I'll be asking you. So there are three possible areas from which I can draw two essay questions for the final. So let me reiterate. The final will have 50 multiple choice questions, no true and false, from the from the second half of the test, second half of the chapters of the exam of the course, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All the multiple choice will focus on those chapters, and then you will see 3 essays. One of them will come from the first 2 essay areas from the midterm. The other 2 will come from 2 of the 3 essay areas I just discussed in this video. Now, in answering your essay questions, please do not write the essay question on your papers. It takes up too much space. I'm expecting a page and a half to 2 pages on 8.5 by 11 lined college paper as an adequate quantity of an answer. I can't tell what the quality will be until I see it, but for quantity, a page and a half to 2 pages on 8.5 by 11 lined paper, one side each, one-sided, not two-sided, without the essay question being written in and taking up too much space. Once you have completed the test and those essay questions, responses, you'll give the essay responses and the test questions and responses to, if you're taking the test here on main campus, it will be the administrative assistant, or if you're going to take the test at Cedar Bluff, it'll be the administrative assistant there. And I'll send out an email shortly indicating who these people will be. I don't want to mention their names because I may use this video next year. Also, by now you should know when and what day, what time and what day the final exam will be given. So all of that being said, I hope I've given you some sense of what the essay questions will be. Each essay will be worth 25%, and there are 50 multiple choice will be worth a half a point each. I hope I've given you a good sense of the test, what to look for, what to think about, and what to study. If you have any questions, as usual, email me, and I'll send you an email shortly about the time and date and place and questions I might have or you may have about proctoring. Have a good day, and thank you.